Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Well, today's high is going to be 84 and sunny. So I have to get outside and trim my wisteria. That thing is always reaching for my house and it grows like a weed. It's actually invasive, so think twice before you plant a wisteria. Now, I planted it to make a cover over my deck, and for years it covered the whole deck. But I cut it back because I wanted to plant more flowers on the deck. And also, when they put the new deck on, they had to cut it way back. But it still covers, it's back now, and it covers about a third of my deck now, which is okay. But it grows really tall too. So, yeah, think twice before you plant a wisteria. It is very invasive. So, I'm tired today. I haven't answered my YouTube comments, and I haven't checked my mail, my Gmail. Sometimes it gets to be a little bit weary checking my Gmail. So I don't check it every day. But I do try to answer my comments every day. But I've been a little bit of a slacker lately in that department. So I apologize if you made a comment and I haven't gotten to answering you yet. I will. So, time for some cold foam, and I'm almost totally out of cold foam. So I'm going to have to make a trip to Aldi's in a day or two anyway. I may go today, I don't know, and get some more creamer and cold foam. But we'll see. I don't know how I'm going to feel. And I do have to trim that wisteria. So cheers. Yummy. So yesterday, I stayed home and I didn't pull weeds. I used my weed whacker and I whacked all the weeds. And I can't decide what to do with the strawberries that I have out there. They've never produced anything. I don't know if the chipmunks eat the little strawberry flowers and little strawberry buds before they get a chance to turn into a strawberry. I was going to put them in my strawberry tower. I have a couple of those. But I may not even bother this year. They'll come back again next year. So, yeah, I don't have much luck with strawberries or zucchini. Yellow squash did okay this year. But zucchini, not so much. I'm growing one. Whoopee. And I have 4 plants out there. So next year I may only plant one and see how that does. And if it doesn't do well, then I'm going to give up on the zucchini. So, and that's okay. I mean, some people have so much zucchini they don't know what to do with it. For me this year, it's kind of like that with eggplants, with those little Japanese eggplants. And I only have 1 plant of those, but I have 3 of the regular eggplants, and they're just loaded with little eggplants. They're not ready for harvest yet, but so yeah, I'm thinking that big, huge plant that is a volunteer out there that kind of, first I thought it was a cucumber, then I thought it was a zucchini, but I think it's a sugar baby watermelon. So we'll see if it produces anything. I don't have a ton of pollinators in the back. I think it's a little too shady for them. I've got a lot of them in the front yard, but in the back, not so many. So anyway, yeah, I have to get up on a ladder, not a very tall one. I've got a reacher that I pull down the limbs of the wisteria, and then I cut them off. But I don't like climbing on ladders anymore, even short ones. But because I'm so short, sometimes I have to. So, all right, well, I'm going to enjoy my coffee and then I'll be back. So, I bought these plants last year, and this is a mallow. It's like a perennial rose of Sharon. And I bought them, this one and this one, last year. And they were in pots, and I left them out over winter, and I thought they were dead. But I left them in the pot, just gave them a chance to come back to life if there was any in there. And it's starting to bloom. And this is the really, really big flowers once it opens all the way up. So I'm excited about that. So, and everything is growing like crazy. Just really, it's all taken off. So, I just wanted to show you this beautiful Rose of Sharon. It's a double, and it's a volunteer that planted itself. This is like about 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it planted itself. And it's just full of beautiful, beautiful flowers. So I finally got this area cleaned up. It was getting all full of weeds, and I finally cut all that back. So everything's doing well in here. And that is my humongous, what I think is a sugar baby watermelon. But I still have some weeding to do. And I have a grapevine here that is just huge. Goes all the way across. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was my garden, because I've harvested some things out of it. So I finally got this area cleaned up here. I still do have one bag of mulch, but I got this all cleaned up. And little Lizzie is pulling out all the weeds I pulled out. She's got some dried up spinach there. But what I'm doing is I made a master chart of all my boxes, and the ones back there, those are all tomatoes. And what I'm doing now is I'm analyzing what's growing well where and what I need to change for next year. So everything is doing well, but there are some things I want to change around for next year's garden. So I made a master copy of it, and I'm starting to see what grows well where, because they don't all get the same amount of light. And my parsley and my basil have just gone. These are only 3 little plants, and the basil, they were 3 little plants, and they're just going crazy. So I'm going to move the Malabar spinach somewhere where it can grow hanging over. And then what I want to do is make this section all greens. Right now I've got an eggplant growing there. And then I want to cover it with some tulle. And then over here on this side, I'm going to make all the plants that need to be pollinated, like the ground cherry and the eggplant. And I'm going to put the zucchini and the squash over here next year. So this will all be pollinator plants. and this over here will all be greens. This year I sort of tried to do the greens in the front and some of the things that needed pollinating in the back, but I think it'll be better and easier to cover up if I do half and half. So I cleaned up the greenhouse, got that all squared away, and I had the exterminator out here today because I'm still under contract. And in that box over in the corner there was a mouse living in there. So I asked him to check it for babies and all that, and he said there weren't any babies because I didn't want to leave them without a mama, even though the mice have caused me a lot of money. So he cleaned all the nests out, and then I sprayed in there with some of this. I don't know if this is any good. Repels all animal repellent. So those are all the things it's supposed to repel. So I sprayed all around the bottom of the greenhouse, the perimeter, and hopefully they'll stay out of there now. So, and look at all these beautiful black-eyed Susans. These were all volunteers. They all planted themselves. This whole box is just full of them. So I may pull some of these out and stick them in my little rose garden. And I'm finally, after much ado, where is it? I'm finally, what happened? Oh, here it is. I'm finally getting a little zucchini. It's my first one. And I do have a couple yellow squash coming in there. So I think that'll work out much better next year. And the green onions I'm moving as well because they get really tall. So that's what I'm going to do every year. I'm just going to change around what works and what doesn't work. And I'm going to plant less tomatoes because I have way too many. And my other little weeping red bud is finally coming to life. It should have bloomed here, but it didn't. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't turn out just to be a plain old red bud because they're all over my garden. So, okay, well, I just thought I would show you what I'm going to do next year in the garden. And pulling the weeds is a constant thing here. Everything just loves the soil. For years and years, I put mulch down here, and that all deteriorated, and I've had gardens in here, so it's got good dirt. And my lettuce here is all going to seed, and I'm letting it, and hopefully I'll get more lettuce in the fall. So, all right, I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you my new idea for my new sheet. All right, well, so here is the little chart I came up with, and this is a master copy, and it's just of my garden. So I'm going to put this in a page protector, and then every year I can take this out into the garden and rearrange things. But these are all my boxes, and up here all the boxes that I just showed you. So, you know, if you have a garden, it might be helpful if you made yourself a chart, and that way you can keep track of what does well and what doesn't do well. At least that's what I'm going to try. So I got this cookbook, and it's all vegan meats. I'm vegetarian, but I do like to eat the vegan meats. And some people say, well, if you're vegetarian or vegan, why do you want, you obviously don't like meat, so why do you want to eat fake meat? Well, it's not that I don't like meat, I just don't like the process of how it gets from the animal to the plate. So, but I grew up eating meat when I was younger. I've been a vegetarian for about probably going on 13 years now. And so I like to fool around with making vegan meats. But sometimes I use, dairy or something like that in the process of. But I wanted to make some lunch meats. I always liked sandwiches, and the vegan lunch meats are just, they don't really cut it for me. So I wanted to make my own, and this book has, it's a guide to making vegan meat, if anybody else is interested, with 60 delicious faux meat recipes by Jeremy Pinch. And he uses a lot of spices, and it all sounds really good. And he's got recipes in here for beef-like, chicken-like, what else? Some that he uses is seitan, which is made with vital wheat gluten. It's the same stuff you make your bread out of, except it has more gluten in it. So there's nothing unhealthy about it unless you're gluten intolerant, then you need to stay away with that. But he also uses tofu and what else? The soy products. Some people have an aversion to soy. I don't. So, but he's got fish too. He's got fish in here and egg recipes, all kinds. He's got a recipe for a vegan pepperoni, 2 recipes for vegan salami, vegan bologna, vegan ham, sausage. What else? Yeah, so a lot of good recipes in here. And this book was not very expensive. I think it was under $10. So I'm very happy with it. I like it. So another thing that I bought, because I do want to make some vegetarian ham. And I've never tried either one of these products, but this is the Badia ham seasoning. Flavored seasoning. It's not, it doesn't include real ham juice or anything. And then Plant Basics, just like ham. So I want to try these different ones and see which one I like the best. There's a couple of other companies that make ham seasoning, and you can put that in beans if you want, if you don't have a pork hock or anything like that. You can give your beans a smoky ham-like flavor. So I got that. Now these 2 things weren't cheap. I got them on Amazon, and honestly I don't remember what I paid for them. But you don't need that much. They're fairly strong. So I haven't done much in the way of grocery shopping last month. Hardly. I got a few things, but now I'm almost out of ice cream. I'm almost out of cold foam. I still have plenty of creamer, but I've had groceries in my Walmart cart for about a month and a half now. So I figured I might as well get a Walmart order. And then I also got an Aldi's order because I like to put cashews on my ice cream. Sometimes I add chocolate syrup to it too, and I make a sundae. So, but I'm just about out of ice cream, and I ran out of cashews. So I put in a very small Aldi's order too. So the two together were under $100, and I'm having them delivered. So, yeah. Anyway, I was thinking about what I bought, but I'm not going to go through the whole list. If it comes in time, they're supposed to arrive between 7 and 9. I'll show you what I bought, so this video might be late. But anyway, yeah, I was very happy with this little book. And I'm going to try making some of the lunch meats in there. Because if you buy the tofurkey ones or some of the other ones, I think Eve's puts out a salami, you get just a few slices and it's very expensive. So once you buy the initial products that you need to make the luncheon meat, you know, you can make a lot of luncheon meat out of it. And I have a meat slicer that I've had for years, so I can, you know, slice it on that, and then I'll freeze some of it, and then I'll have lunch meat, because I like to have a little bit of ham and a little bit of turkey and whatever else. I like to have a variety. I don't want to eat the same thing for a week, so I'll just keep enough for a few days and then I'll freeze the rest. So, all right, I'm going to wait for my order, and if it gets to be too late, I'll have to share the order tomorrow. All right. Well, it's almost 8 o'clock, and my order from Aldi's came. I'm thinking my Walmart order is going to come later. So I'll just show you what I got from Aldi's. And I only got a few things. Their ice cream was $3 something. I like their cookies and cream ice cream. Aldi's is one of the cheapest places I've found to buy ice cream. And it's good. So, and then I got this big pouch of cashews, and I see now they're putting them in a bag instead of the plastic containers. Of course, the bag is plastic too, but it's cheaper, and that was 11 something, around $12, but that lasts me quite a while. I got these kettle chips. Those were under $2. Then I got these pita crackers, garlic and chive, and those are so good with roasted garlic hummus. So I got those two things. And I got this Gouda cheese. They're the little cracker squares, and I like to eat that with a little bit of pepperoni, plant-based pepperoni. Makes a good snack. I got some frozen strawberries. Those were $4.09, I think. Same with the mango chunks. And then I got the cold foam. That was $3 something, I think $3.57. So that is my Aldi's order. I did not get much, but these are things that I eat all the time. A few snacky things, and also some frozen fruit. So that'll last me a good couple weeks anyway. I don't know about the ice cream. The ice cream, about a week and a half. I only eat ice cream in the summer. I don't eat it the rest of the year, but I find it very refreshing, especially when it's really hot out. So there is my Aldi's order, and I'm just going to go ahead and upload the video now, and I'll show you tomorrow what I got at Walmart. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.